Hi again, Gregg Bell, the News Tribune here at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. Merry Christmas to you, first of all. Put the most important thing first. Off the hook scene here tonight at CenturyLink Field in Soto, and especially in the locker room after the game. The Seahawks were getting after it after getting to the playoffs for the 6th time in 7 years, clinching it with the win over the Chiefs. Pete Carroll called it special and really gratifying this season. He knew no one thought it would be here. He knew that everyone doubted this team that after he had changed 9 assistant coaches in the offseason, both coordinators, 8 new starters on defense, a new offensive philosophy with a new line coach and coordinator for a run-first approach, with a Chris Carson at running back who'd only played 4 games in his NFL career as a rookie, breaking his leg last October. They get a 1,000-yard season from Carson, which he got tonight. They rushed for 210 yards with an offensive line that had injuries across it and were mixing and matching, including a practice squad player and Casa, who was not even on the roster until yesterday, playing at right tackle in the first half. It was 464 yards, a season high for the Seahawks offense. It's Russell Wilson throwing over the top after Carson established the run early, as it's been the last couple months. And most intriguing to me, it was how the Seahawks defended Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. The Chiefs came in averaging 36 points a game. The top offense in the NFL had 17 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Mahomes extended plays like they knew they would. The Seahawks talked all week about, quote, plastering on their receivers. The Seahawks cover men liken Mahomes to Aaron Rodgers of the Packers. And all the times the Seahawks have played the Packers, they talk about staying on their receivers even when Rodgers gets outside the pocket, and let him have his yards if he wants to run from there. But he's so good, Rodgers is, as is Mahomes, of throwing once he's outside the pocket. So that was the plan all week, and the Seahawks mostly succeeded in that plan. Not a lot of balls over the top, not a lot of receivers running behind. The one time there was, Travis Kelce, the all-pro tight end, running to this end zone, and Mahomes missed him by about 5 yards. I mean, Kelce was open from here to Federal Way, and Mahomes missed him, the likely NFL MVP, for what would have been a touchdown in the second quarter. That was really the only time that the Seahawks were beaten over the top. And that was important because of how long Mahomes was extending plays. Staying on receivers allowed Frank Clark, Quentin Jefferson, Deion Jordan, who had a sack in the first half, his first of the year, to affect Mahomes more than he's usually affected. That in turn gave the Seahawks secondary a chance. And that give and take between not allowing Mahomes enough time extending plays and plastering receivers, I thought was the difference in the first 3 quarters. Mahomes got going at the end. He ended up with 273 yards, and the Chiefs with 31 points. But Kelce and Tyreek Hill, the supersonic wide receiver, mostly held in check. They came into the game averaging 12 catches, 180 yards combined, and a touchdown and a half a game. Tonight, 9 catches, 128, no scores. That was the difference in the game. The Chiefs' big play threats in the passing game couldn't get going, and the Seahawks defense kept Seattle's offense in the game long enough until Chris Carson's running for 100 yards, and then Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, David Moore catches as Russell Wilson threw down the field after setting up by the run. The formula that's worked for 2 or 3 months worked again tonight. Interesting to me offensively that with 4:36 left, Seahawks up 31-28 in the fourth quarter. Instead of going into a 4-minute offense and running Chris Carson to try to melt away the final seconds of the game and win it on that possession with ball control, the Seahawks went for it. Pete Carroll said after the game, before that drive, he went to Brian Schottenheimer. He said, go for this. Throw as much as you have to get in the end zone. And that's what they did. 48 yards to Tyler Lockett down the right sideline. He makes an over-the-shoulder Willie Mays catch, a brilliant catch. And then an equally brilliant catch by Doug Baldwin on the opposite side over his left shoulder down the left sidelines, tipping the ball to himself, and down at the 1-yard line, Chris Carson runs it in for the clinching touchdown, 38-28, before a late field goal by the Chiefs. An aggressive mindset because the Seahawks run the ball early, and tonight they did it with an offensive line that was injured across the board. They had right tackle Jermaine Ifedi miss his first game in 45 starts. DJ Fluker was not supposed to play, but had to play when J.R. Sweezy, the left guard, got hurt in the first half. That meant Ethan Posick, who was starting at right guard tonight, went to left guard. Fluker came in and played right guard. George Fant, who's usually the extra tight end, was the starting right tackle with Ifedi out. They didn't have the extra tight end that Fant's been all season. Carroll said he wasn't sure how the running game was going to work without that crutch they've had all year. Fant was playing about 1/4 of the snaps as an extra tight end, a third tight end in run sets. They didn't have that tonight, and they still run for 210 yards and gain a season-high 464 on offense. This team's believing. They believed all season. They talked after the game, KJ Wright saying, yeah, we heard the haters. We heard the 4-12 predictions, the 5-11s, and here they are 9-6 and in the playoffs. They will play January 5 or 6, either at Dallas and at Chicago. It looks very likely it's going to be at Dallas as a 5-4 game in the first round of the NFC playoffs in Texas. And if they can do what they did tonight, run the ball to set up the pass and get enough pressure on the quarterback, they can win in the playoffs. Of course, it's a fine line. We saw last week what can happen if they make mistakes and give penalties and plays away like they did. They lose to San Francisco. The Seahawks-Arizona game here next week probably won't mean much at all. The Seahawks are most likely to be a 5 seed against the 4 seed Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs in 2 weeks. All my coverage is online at thenewstribune.com and on Twitter at GBellSeattle. Once again, happy holidays to you. Squeeze the ones you love, and thanks for watching.